Being a ghetto boy without the 209. Little homie facing life, he getting crucified. Hard times had me sitting down cooking rhymes. Remember bumming for $1, snorting heavy lines. But I leveled up, fell victim to a sacrifice. Making clever moves with my pawns and knives. Most wanted in the streets, but that's a part of life. This is the land of milk and honey, baby, stars and stripes.
Hey yo, what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed, and like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. So once again, I'm gonna hit you guys with a personal story. Back in Sad F, when I got to D-Yard, 2012, 2013, it was around that year. Before I joined the Riders, no, it was actually when I joined the Riders, right afterwards. I had caught a couple batteries, came back. So I was on C-Status program. C-Status program was loss of privileges. I couldn't have no appliances, nothing. All I had was books, magazines, letter writing, and just sitting in a cell all day for 6 months. Trust me, I tried to go to the hole plenty of times, but it was whatever. I was on the main line. Homies hooked me up with their CD players and some headphones, little radios. That's when I started drawing on paños a lot. And just so you guys know, I'm raw at drawing. I just don't draw no more. I'm over it. But anyways, so I get a celly. I was celled up with the Zapatista leader, Widow G, for a couple days. He went to 2 block. So I get a celly right then and there. His name was Silent from Westside Verdugo. I don't remember what barrio he was from. I know it was a certain street. I want to say 6th Street or something, or 7th Street, or it was a neighborhood. I'm not too sure which barrio he was from. Well, we were celled up for about a good 3 months. And Silent was like maybe, and I'm not even exaggerating, bro. He was like the size of Bigfoot. He had big feet. He had a big old cone head, sharp, bald head. And he was about 6'5", 6'6". And my neighbors were all riders at the time, and they were like, damn, fool, that's a big-ass celly. Fool, he's going to take your cheeks on. I'm like, in the van, like, shut the hell up. So I see him pull up. He's on C-Status as well. He put in work for the Zapatistas, and he got caught with something, and then he got 2 write-ups. So 2 write-ups constitutes C-Status program. So I'm looking out the window, and then I see him. I'm like, man, I haven't met this dude before. I know he was in 5 block at the time. And I'm like, damn, this fool's big. And around this time, riders didn't want to sell up with nobody other than riders for the sake of, because if you get into it with your selling, he's part of a gang culture, you know, that can cause a war. And sellies always get into it with sellies no matter what. So we always made it a point back then to sell up with riders only or non-affiliates, that we didn't have to worry about it. You know, it was just a preventative measure, precautionary measure, and plus that's how Snoop kind of wanted it too. But I had no choice. I couldn't refuse him. And because I would have went to the hole, or if I refused him, it would have showed his gang form of disrespect. It was a sign of disrespect that I didn't want to take him in. So he's down there and he's putting all his bags ready, and I see he got like 8 or 9 big bags, and I see like one laundry bag full of soup. So I was like, "Oh, we eating, bro. We spreading." I had my little bag. I was getting dope at the time off the yard. I had a plug from I believe it was from Hayward, Puerto Rican Pups. And he was clicked up pretty good on the streets with a lot of people, and he brought in some gas, bro. I mean, gas. I mean, the point where you're sweating like you're in a sauna for like 2 hours, bro, sweating bad. That's how potent it was, man. You would try to maintain your composure, like, hey, what's up? Hey, but bad, bro. So he would tell us too, like, man, watch out when you do that, bro. It was like damn near ether, bro. That's how gas it was. So I had like maybe I think I had 4 quarters at the time left. I sold a lot of it because I was making my money, and then I was getting high. Like I'll dip in, get like a little 20 out of it, get high for the rest of the night. I was in my cell by myself. So he shows up, and I'm looking at his canteen. I'm like, man, that boy's stacked, bro. That's cool. That's what's up. You know, I ain't got no bum in the cell. And that's one thing cellies don't like, man. When you have a broke celly, it just sucks. So we're introducing ourselves to the window. And then they popped my door, and I was like, hey, bro, want me to come down and help you? He was like, yeah. So I go down there, pick all this big old heavyweight sandbag, water bags full of property. We put it in our cell. So we get in there, and he was like, we start chopping it up. We introduce ourselves, man. And after about a good 10, 20 minutes, you know, I make some coffee for us so we can, you know, vibe and chill out. I let him know that I had some CL20s hidden in my mattress with a little radio. I pull it out, start dumping some music, some regular radio. And he's like, hey, fool, just so you know, fool, I hit, fool, and I hit tough. And I'm going to hit this weekend. And in my head, I'm looking at him like, got something for you, bro. Got something for you. Don't even trip. Don't even worry about it, homie. I'm finna put you on your back right now. So sure enough, we're chopping it up, and I let him get all his stuff in his locker. We clean up the cell, and I was like, hey, fool, you got a rig? And he was like, yeah. I was like, cool, because I got one too, but I don't know how you want to do this, but I don't care if I share with my cellies, man. I mean, I already got help, and everybody got help. He goes, wow, fool, what you got? And I was like, bam, and I pull out these 4 quarters. Now, there's black where it's just all tar. But what the homie was giving me was like this gray powder, bro. It wasn't China white or nothing, but it was this gray powder. Like I said, he just said it was gas. And I was like, I got this right here, fool. It's gas, though, bro. It's gas. But if you want, you can get high for it. I got to sell a couple more. I really don't need to, but I plan on selling them just to have something coming in. But, you know, you want to get high? And he was like, hell yeah, fool, hook it up. So I get an orange spoon out. I lace it up. And sure enough, bro, I put a 50 paper in there and I draw it up. But I already knew my limits when it comes to this dope, bro. Like I knew that it'll put me on my back. A 20 paper was knocking me down. So I didn't want to do half of a 50. So I just gave him a good majority of it, and I left a cool little shot for me so I can maintain and be up and pay attention while I'm still lit. So I gave it to him, and I was like, hey, fool, that came from the homie, bro. And a lot of fools been knocking out from that, bro. You might want to be easy if you think you can handle it. He's like, man, I got this, fool. I got this, bro. And bam, he hits it. And he sits on the toilet. And then he starts chopping it up, and I'm already drawing up mine. And when I poke myself, all I hear is, oh, shit. And he says the S word. And then I poke myself, but I didn't, like, slam it. I looked up, like, you all right? Because I knew how this was gas. And all I see him do is this, man. He was like this. He was like, oh. I was like, bro, boy looked like a scene of Pulp Fiction. I was like, and I'm still holding the rig, and I'm looking at him like if I popped it real quick, popped out, and touched it, and I was just looking at him, and he was just like, dude, everything was 3-dimensional, slow motion, Back to the Future, all in one, dude. He was just like, I was like, man, I just stared at him for how long, and I was like, you cool? And like I said, he had a cone head, bro, like the movie Conehead. And I watched the beads of sweat just start dripping all down his face and like down his forehead, down his nose, dripping off his nose. And I'm like, for one, that's disgusting. You need a rag. You need to wipe your face. Profusely. You're sweating profusely all over my stuff, and your pheromones are kicking in, bro. And I don't want to smell none of that, bro. Ain't no turn-ons over here. And he's just dripping. He's just like, and I just waited, bro. I waited for like a good 5 minutes because my high's hitting me, but I can't even enjoy the rush because I'm worried, like, is he gonna fall on his face, or is he just gonna start drinking out of the toilet, or is he gonna wash his face, or does he plan on being mobile and moving around a little bit? And then finally he was like, damn, feed me, bro. God. And I just stared at him like, damn. Like, I knew my limits when it comes to this, but he thought he could handle it. Worst thing that happened, bro, the door gets popped open. So I'm like, oh, man, I put the rigs up. And he doesn't even move, bro. He's sitting on the toilet, like, the door pops up, and he's like, I'm like, bro, snap out of it, bro. Like, I know it's gas, but not that goddamn gas. What is it's not like Kim Jong-un just shot it to us. I'm like, man, this is that potent stuff. We just got it off the leaf right now, bro. It's gas. It wasn't that bad. So I go to the door, and I'm like, hi. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, hey, man, tell your son he needs to go to medical. And I'm like, oh, God, dude. I was like, hey, fool, you want to refuse medical? And he was like, nah, I can make it. And dude, took like 10 minutes for this fool to get dressed. He gets dressed, and I'm like, and then he had some more stuff to put away. I was like, hey, well, I'm going to put this on your bunk, bro, so I can clean up the house a little bit before you come back and all that. He was like, feed me, bro. Feed me. Dude, I watched that fool take like 10 minutes to walk down the stairs. He didn't come back for like 3 hours. So I'm like, I hooped the dope and everything. I'm put the rigs away, and I'm like, bro, he got caught, bro. He definitely got caught. Well, I guess he came out of medical like 2 hours ago, and he just walked the yard. He said he just started taking laps around the yard by himself, talking to his homies, talking to other people in the building. He's like, bro, I was zoned out, bro. I did not know where I was at. I did not know what I was doing. I knew I was in a land of dirt, like Little House on the Prairie Land, and he said, by the time you know it, I heard Yard Rico, and I snapped out. I was like, oh, I gotta go back to my building. He said he was so high, he went to his old building, and they told him that he doesn't live there no more, and he came to my building. So me and that fool, he didn't want to touch that no more. We were high for the rest of the night, and he was like, bro, let's wait like 2 days, fool, sell that stuff, man. That's potent right there. He had a plug with a dude named Bandit. I don't know where Bandit was from, but I know it was his area. Now, Bandit gave him 12 fat quarters, and Bandit only wanted 600 green dots out of it, and he can keep 6. So what dude was doing, and he's the one that taught me this, it was like he would get those quarters and cut 100 papers out of these quarters, and he'd be left with like 1250s. And those 1250s, you know, he would sell 6 of those 100 papers, get the 600 for his homie, slam the other 600, and then all those 1250s that he made that he was left with off trimming off the sack were all canteen and green dots or JPays and or people clucking stuff. That's how he did it. He did that for about a good 4 to 6 weeks. Every weekend, because Bandit was hitting every weekend, and Bandit was doing this with a lot of people. Bandit would find people, give them this amount of money, give them this amount of dope, wanted this back, and Bandit was getting rich, and Bandit didn't get caught for a very long time, and so we did that for like 4 to 6 weeks, right? The thing about that dude, bro, every time he got high, you know, we vibe, we chop it up, tell war stories, talked about the main lines, talked about Zapatistas, talked about riders, you name it. We had good times, bro. We didn't have not one argument. We never argued or nothing. But we got into a lot of bull crap. And his way, he taught me some bad habits that I wind up having those bad habits for a very long time. But one thing he would do, we would get high. And then we'd be high all day. Stupid lit. Dummy lit, bro. And then he put a green paper, blank paper on the light. So now we're in like LED lights, bro. So I'm like all day from the morning to the night, I'm looking at green, like man, like an infrared beam, like you know what I mean? So I'm like, man, my eyes were messing up. And we would be laying down at bed, and then we would throw like since it was the weekend most of the time, that's when we partied the hardest. Sunday night slow jams would come on in oldies. And we would play it on the CL20s, and I'll be on my bunk just like, yeah. And he'd be on his bunk, but he'd do this all night. And so I'd be like, yeah, fool, what's up? He was like, I'm just making sure you're awake still, bro. Don't waste my heart, bro. I'm just fire. And then I'll be like, man, I'm up, fool. I'm just nodding right now, fool. I'm just chilling. I'll be looking at my photo albums, looking at magazines of girls that I ain't never going to ever hook up with or qualify to ever even get at, riz up. And then I'll just be like, and he'll go. And he'll be up there nodding off too. Then he'll go, and I'll be like, yeah, fool, I'm up. That fool would do that from 9 o'clock at night up until like 4 or 5 in the morning. Keeping me up because he's like, if we go to sleep, we're just wasting the high. So I had to be up all night, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Like, I'm ready to crash it, bro. I'm burnt out. And I'll be right there just chopping it up with them. Like, what's good, fool? We ain't got nothing to do. What is there to do at 2 in the morning? When you're on, if you're tweaked out, it's different. But we're nodding off right now, bro. We're hopped up. And I just be like, damn. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm just listening. So basically, I would just sit on my bunk and just listen to the radio, like, be hella in love with like 30 girls, bro. Because I done heard 30 Keith Sweats, the 30 Teddy McGraw or whatever his name is. I done heard all love, always and forever. I didn't heard every damn song you're thinking of, and I'm just thinking about this girl. I'm thinking about that girl. I'm thinking about future women that I'm gonna propose to one day and give all my checks to, and be told what to do when I go home. All that crazy crap, and I'll just be right there, and I just hear him out of nowhere, and I'm like, yeah, fool, I'm up. Every time we partied, bro, every night faithfully, he would not let me go to bed because he felt like it was a waste. And the highs lasted forever, and we'd be stupid dummy lit. But that used to annoy me because finally, when I know he was asleep, I'm like, thank God, bam, and we go to sleep. But we had a lot of encounters, man. We had a lot of situations. He wound up blasting somebody off the yard because they went to war with the 2 fibers, so he got off. But one, he burned his plug little by little, and I have to tell you guys that story for another time because it's. But we got into that point where everybody knew. So whenever we ran out of dope and we were waiting for the weekend, we would get papers off the tier. And everybody knew that he was a Zapatista and I was a rider. There was a lot of violence going on between us two groups alone and the two fivers, that people were really afraid around this time of the STG groups. And I remember this one occasion, because like I said, I have multiple stories from him, bro. We beat up a lot of people in the cells, outside the cells, burned a lot of people, threatened people. It was crazy, right? But one dude literally sold us a 100 paper, and we got the paper. So we're like, man, forget it, man. We'll just pay him on the weekend. We'll give it back to him. And then usually when you give it back somebody in dope, you have to pay. If you pay back somebody with dope, you got to give him double. So if I bought a quarter from him, I had to give him 2 quarters back, you know, because he's double hustling. So we get the quarter and we slam it, and we're like, man, this bunk. Like, I got a little head change. Homeboy didn't really get a head change. And he was like, man, I ain't paying that fool. You going to pay that fool? And I was like, so he kind of influenced my decision. I was like, nah, you ain't paying him. I ain't paying him neither, bro. That shit was whack, bro. And then we waited until that fool confronted us like, hey, bro, where's my money at? And then we both wrote him a kite, signed it, Riders, Zapatistas. Didn't even put our nicknames. And we were like, hey, fool, like, you ain't got nothing coming, bro. That thing was bunk, and you knew it was bunk, and you sold us bunk dope. You try to get over on us, man. Whatever you want to do, bro, let us know, bro. Get your homies lined up, and we'll get our brothers lined up, and we'll smack, bro. But you got something coming. So sure enough, bro, he writes his back like, hey, bro, it's all good, bro. Y'all can keep it, bro. I don't want it. And me and that fool caught that. And believe it or not, we plotted on it in the cell. And we were like, we took advantage of that situation because we knew that they didn't want to confront this 6'5" Loch Ness monster. And me, I was just a rider, so it didn't make no difference. But two of us against everybody else, we burned a lot of people. And that's why a lot of the riders that knew me in Kern Valley from SADF, they used to call me SADF Manitas because I was known. A lot of people used to bring it up to the riders like, hey, fool, your homie burned me for this, your homie burned me for that, your homie burned me for this, your homie burned me for that. But I went through an ugly phase around this time. I had a girl on the team, and she was bringing me the dope every once in a while, but she was holding a lot of my money. And we were about to hit. After like 4 months, she was going to come visit me, and I was going to hit a fat zip. I paid for it and everything. And she just bounced, fool, with all my money, bounced on my dope. And I got left with nothing. Puerto Rican pups got snatched up off the yard, so I had no dope coming in. This fool was burning his connect little by little, so I was paranoid trying to make a move. You know, I didn't know. See, when she left me, it was like a devastating experience because I was like I said, my childhood crush and stuff like that. So I just became a dirtbag to feel like I didn't care about nothing or nobody. And when the riders would confront me, I'm like, hey, fool, this fool says you owe him $50. Fool, you going to pay him? I'm like, I ain't going to pay that fool nothing. Why? What does it matter to you? Who's your brother? Like, what you worried about him for? You going to jump for him? Then don't worry about it, man. When he wants something, he can get something, bro. I come out to the yard every time. I squab him. I break his jaw. And then the riders are like, whatever, bro. Like, don't tell him not to bring your problems our way, bro. It's time to stop bringing it to the table. And I'm like, well, stop addressing it. Like, man, shut the hell up. And that's how I was getting to the point that they plotted on removing me in SADF. And I was only a rider like a year. But I had the Zapatista that had my back. So while we were doing it when his homies weren't acknowledging it or weren't around to see it. And mine weren't either because my homies were all in different buildings. His homies were all in different buildings. The only ones that were in our buildings were 2 fivers at the time. So we were burning non-affiliates left and right, signing it. Hey, bro, you ain't going to sell us nothing? When they would refuse to sell us, I'm like, all right, fool, what's up, fool? Let the doors be the bell, bro. When we come out, bro, you got something coming. And they would shoot us something like, hey, fool, this is on the strength, bro. This is all I can do, bro. Por favor, bro. I don't want no problems with you and your homies. And we were getting like 20 papers, 50 papers, 100 papers, just so we can leave them people alone. Because the whole time, he was just burning his homie. Like, there was one weekend, like, we did all 12 quarters. And he told him that he couldn't pay him. That, you know, he even admitted to this homie, like, hey, bro, I went overboard, bro. I just started indulging and I did all that crap. And his homie wrote him back like, all right, fool, don't be doing that though, bro. Like, I ain't tripping, bro. I get it. I got plenty of it, bro. But don't be doing that, bro. You know, it's business, bro. Like, I thought you were good business. You were good business before. I don't know what's going on, but yada, yada, yada. And dude came through again like 3 more times. And the first 2 times he got him at 600. But the third time, we're talking about 12 fat quarters that lasted us for a very long time. And all we were doing was every day, twice a day, just feeding our veins. And the war went off. The 2 fivers started going at it with the Zapatista. So he looked at it like, I ain't got to pay the homie. So he goes up blasting somebody, and then Bandit winds up getting caught later. And Bandit gets snatched up on it. They literally snatched everybody that year that was hitting dope Like, got him. Snatched. So that yard went dry. When I left to Kern Valley, that yard went dry. But me and that fool wind up beating up like 2 people in the cell over because we didn't want to pay them fools. And when they would confront us, we tell them, hey, yeah, just come by the door. We got something for you. And we get the door open. They'd come by like, what you got for us? And we drag them in the cell, beat on them for like 10, 15 seconds, throw them out the cell. I'm like, man, shut the hell up, bro. You ain't got nothing coming. So he gave me, I gave myself a bad name. I'm going to take responsibilities for my own actions. But he kind of got me into that. Like, I wasn't doing it before until he did it. But, you know, he was teaching me, like, man, use this gang culture and use this STG, use these group segments, use us, our names, our violence to get what we want and bully these fools on the yard. So I became like that. So even when he left, I wound up getting off C status, going to the yard when I found out the riders were trying to plot on me, and I got caught with a hacksaw because I was trying to cut my locker because I was going to stab my homies all on the tier. Like, y'all want to blast me for what? Just because I ain't paying my dope? But when I was bringing all this dope and I was blessing everybody, y'all were cool with it. Everybody was asking me for free 50s and free highs and free spoons and free shots. And, you know, I was putting money on people's books and I was giving you guys $30 canteen. Give me the 70 bag. But where all of a sudden I ain't got nothing coming. I've been doing people dirty. And y'all want to blast me for it? So I was like, I grabbed a hacksaw and I was cutting my locker. I was like, I'm going to start blasting people. Got caught with it on the yard. Got a ride up. Went right back on C status. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be on C status no more. So that's when I beat up local man from Merced and I went to the hole and I got transferred to Kern Valley and I dodged being on C status, so I was able to program again. But a lot of people just being celled up with him alone. He was a good dude. Like I said, he blasted somebody, ripped somebody's face up, and he had a big old Z, red Z on his face, a big old Zapatista Z on his face. You know, he would teach me escultura. We go down education. He was going through it like I was going through it. And I think that was the worst part. I think his baby mama got pregnant. And she was sending him pictures a lot, but the whole time she was pregnant, so he was just getting them but face shots, and he found out that she got pregnant by one of his homies, and he loved her. And mine just had left too. So that's when we were like, man, F it, bro. Like, what do we got to lose, bro? Like, our homies are gonna back us up. They ain't gonna turn their back on us. Who are these fools? And we have all this dope food, and there's like, we could sell it. But, like, at that time, I didn't have nobody to give my money to because I invested it all in one basket, like one girl. And she took off for, like, maybe $3 or $4 grand that she had in the bank account for me, plus the zip that I paid for. So I was dead broke. And I was trying to bust a move and try not to be struggling and try not to, like, you don't want to be that broke celly, bro. Trust me, in prison, you don't want to be that broke celly. And we were just sitting there on 12 fat quarters, and we could have sold it and made all kinds of canteen. But then, like, boredom would have kicked in. Like, we were getting high so much and every day where, dude, a day not getting high, bro, would have been like misery, bro. It would have been like Guantanamo Bay. You know, it would have been like Harold and Kumar, like with Dookie on the Dingaling kind of situation. It would have just been horrible, bro. It would have been boring. Yeah, I just watched Harold and Kumar the other day. That was my first time watching it, Guantanamo Bay. It was pretty funny. So the reality of just sitting there, not having nothing to do, nothing in your cell, nobody to turn to, nobody to talk to, nobody to have on your side, and no dope in jail, it's probably the worst situations I've ever been in where I'm like, bro, like, you start to hate life. And trust me, I'm out here, like, there's some days where I hate life where I'm like, bro, this sucks, bro. Like, oh my God, bro, what am I doing? But those moments in there of hating life, you know, I was willing to throw my life away. You know, I could have burned any of those non-affiliates and they could have blasted me. Just like some non-affiliates do catch bodies on the SNY. But I was risking it because I didn't care. I was young. I was still in my 20s, mid or going on my late 20s. And I had a habit. And that habit superseded everything that I believed in and that I was trying to stand on. That, you know, because if the tables were turned, you don't pay me, I'm going to blast you. But yet I'm over here not paying other people because I'm connected to a gang. And we did that for a long time, man. We dragged 2 people in their cell and beat on them bad. And dude hits hard. Dude 6'5", bro. Like I'm telling you, like he's massive, bro. Andre the Giant massive. And we would just beat on fools and tell them, like, and if we didn't beat on them, we were like, hey, fool, come over here. You know, Ryder Zapatistas over here, bro. Come over here. I became a scandalous individual. It wasn't until I got to Kern Valley when I started getting educated a little bit different. I started growing up a little more and realizing that my past tense was dangerous. Because I burned a lot of people in that yard. And I even squared off with my homies, willing to blast my homies. And I was socking my homies in the face underneath the stairs for questioning me, for trying to jump me. I went through a bad phase real early like I got to SNY with no rules and didn't know how to act, and I ran with it and almost got myself into a wreck. But that's my story about the Zapatista from Westside Verdugo. Overall, man, he was actually a great friend. When we were high, bro, we had some of the greatest moments, just chilling, chopping it up, live, everything. He told me everything about his life story, his family. You know, we bonded like pretty cool. And when he left, I was like, man, that was gonna be a good homie, right? That's a good celly. And then it just, like I said, I got left with his problems though too, because everybody that we burned, he was gone, but I was still there. So everybody decided to bring it all up to the riders, like, hey man, you him and that Zapatista were burning us, bro. They were dragging us into the cell. Look, I still got the kites. Put me into a wreck, man, but I did it to myself. So you guys said you guys wanted a personal story. I've been wanting to tell his story. I'll never forget the all night. Thank God I don't have to hear those again. Yeah, but we got dumb lit, bro, for like 4 to 6 weeks, couple months, man. That's all we did was just party our lives away and just close our eyes and not want to wake up to jail. And then even then, when we woke up in the morning, put the CL20s on, a little radio on, dip right into the spoon. Let's start our day. And those are some days that I don't ever want to experience again. So with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Peace.